Hi guys. I have another guest, actually. I was going to say in Romanian the word, but forgive me for that. So after last week, when I interviewed Perry Power, if you remember him, he's the author of a book entitled Breaking the Silence. And this is around his story of coming out from abuse as he was a child. And also he had 14 stories in this book from other people that had lived not necessarily identical, but they had gone through also sexual abuse. So today I have with me Vlad, who was featured in this book, and he agreed to share his story. He used his real name, and this one is really important to me because he's also a co-national, so he's Romanian. And speaking about this in our country, openly, with our names, him being a man, this is extremely rare. So I didn't resist. I just went for it and I said, look, I'd like to invite you to share your story with us because you're a man, you're a Romanian man also. And most of my viewers are also men. So with no further ado, here is Vlad. Welcome, Vlad.
Thank you. I appreciate your invitation. And this is my first time actually saying the story on camera. So it's maybe if I'm a bit anxious or if I seem like I'm uncomfortable, it's because it's my first time and obviously it's a very sensitive story and it's not something that I talk about very often, maybe once a month at most. So it's not something
Okay.
I'm used to. Let's say that, yeah.
Don't worry about it. So people are going to be understanding here. So yeah, I'm just going to leave the room to you. Tell us about yourself, what your story was, bring us up to date.
So to give you some context, right now I'm 23 and I was born in a small city in Romania, and in a small neighborhood. Everyone knew each other, everyone trusted each other, and my family was mostly at work, I guess, maybe 12 hours a day, both my parents. And because of that, a lot of times I was alone outside playing with the other kids, and maybe 80% of them were older than me, up to 7 years older than me. But because obviously my parents trusted their parents and they knew each other, maybe they were friends back in their childhood, and because of that they had that bond kind of. So we were like a big family. It might be too much to say family, but you get the idea. So one of the kids I spent a lot of time with, I guess maybe the most time with, was a guy. Yeah, a guy. He was 6 years older than me, and I started playing with him when I was 5. And between the age of 6 and 7, that's when he started to sexually abuse me. At first, it was just mentally by showing me pornographic images, videos, by undressing in front of me, and just getting me comfortable with the whole idea of sex, what it means, what sex is, getting accustomed with seeing someone else naked and so on. So it was like grooming, even though he was only 12 years old, almost 13 at that time. He was basically grooming me to what came next. And that was at 7 years old. He started to physically abuse me. And one time, I remember this pretty vividly. I remember one time he tried to pay me, and okay, I will pay you this much, and you have to do this. I won't go into very graphic descriptions because I don't think that's really okay for for this interview, but um, he just tried to get me to touch him and to get in contact with him physically. And after a while, after a few months, he actually started to rape me. And this happened for 7 more years. Yeah, up until I was 13. So between the age of 7 and the age of 13, that's when the physical abuse happened. And it was very tough because at that time, I saw him as my best friend, and he was like an authority in my life besides my parents, maybe even more than my parents, because I spent more time with him than I spent with my parents. So he was manipulating me and trying to get my self-esteem very low so he can control me. He stopped me from seeing other kids, from going to parties, from doing anything that was not related to him, his person, his desires, his whatever. So I was like chained to him, and I was always with him. If I went to the store, after school, before school sometimes, so all day long for years and years and years, I was always with him. And the abuse went on like this, maybe weekly, sometimes even more often, like once a day, depending on uh, how he felt. And yeah, so that's my story very shortly.
Mhm.
Um,
How did
very
it
shortly
stop?
put. Oh yeah, he stopped because he moved to another city,
Mm.
and it was nothing. So we didn't speak about it. He never mentioned the abuse. He never mentioned what we did, even though sometimes after something happened, I would feel very bad, and I would feel so weird and like something is wrong. Uh, this is not normal, but I never said anything to no one, and I never spoke with him about this, and he never mentioned it. And he just moved, and that was it. But even though he moved, um, we still talked with each other, and we still were like best friends. So and only when I was so only 2 years ago, I actually accepted what happened, and just because for years, even when I was in high school, I was thinking of this. Okay, this is weird. This was wrong. I don't feel good, and I was thinking, okay, I will go to the grave with this without saying um, anything ever. But 2 years ago, I actually accepted this with help from my girlfriend, because she kept insisting, and I was acting weird. I was not okay emotionally. I was very distant. I was very cold. I was like a, I don't know, like a stone cold killer kind of. And that's how I was in high school as well. And everyone saw me like this crazy guy that has no emotion ever. And she insisted a lot, and after a few months, I actually accepted what happened, and I had a breakdown. So I let all my emotions out, and at that point in time, uh, it was very hard to accept this, but I did, and I cut all interactions with that friend, with a person who did this to me. And after that, I actually confronted him. After a few months, maybe 6 months, I confronted him. I spoke with him face to face with another friend, just in case I won't beat him. So I don't beat him, yeah, because I was obviously very angry, and a lot of times I had fantasies of me beating him, or even, I wouldn't say killing him, but up to that point. So I was very angry, and all that um, built up frustration and anger. Um, Wanted to get out of me. Yeah. So I confronted him. I spoke with him for about 2 hours, and after that, I said, "Okay, he was lying, but even though he was lying, he somehow accepted what he did, and he said he was sorry, but he tried to manipulate me even at that point. He tried to get my girlfriend involved and all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, he was like a pathological liar.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
All right. That's the part of you confronting him. I don't remember if that was in the book, but I feel that's an important piece because very few of the people that even shared their story in Perry's book or have lived similar stories, very few get a chance to meet with their abuser face to face, because most of those people don't even realize. I would know because I had not your story, I had my own story. I tried to get the guy to meet him. He didn't even answer the phone. So that's a rare opportunity to face the person, let them know this is what you did, and get them to eventually realize, wow, this is what I did. I guess it would take a huge amount of courage for them to admit, wow, this is the kind of the son of a bitch that I was, sorry for the words, and this is what I did to this poor soul or this other soul. So
Yeah,
wow.
that's true. But so I kind of forced him to
Meet you.
um, to say for him to acknowledge what he did, because he tried to evade my questions. He tried to put the blame on someone else. At some point, he even said that I wanted that, and at that point, I was so so angry. Luckily, my friend was with me, and he stopped me. Okay, just calm down, and
Yeah.
because I didn't believe how much, I don't know, I don't, how how bad can you be to say something like that to the person you abused, like just in the face of that person. Okay, you wanted this. I was 6 years old. I didn't even know what that was until he like
Yeah.
tried to, I mean, he began to groom me and so on. um, so yeah,
My
but
guess is that
mhm.
somebody who's scared shitless is the kind of person that will try to project that on somebody else. My guess.
Yeah, yeah, I guess he had problems of his own, like from his childhood. I'm not 100% sure. He had some problems before, but nothing major from what I know.
Mm.
Even so, I'm happy. I'm very happy I confronted him and I
Yeah.
got everything out, and
Mhm.
it was very liberating. And I felt like a weight was,
Lift it off your
yeah,
shoulders.
exactly, yeah. So yeah, I'm very glad I did that.
Yeah. So how are you today at 23 with a girlfriend? As much as you can share, because I don't want to pry into
Hmm.
your intimate life, but how do you
Hmm.
feel right now in your sexuality?
Uh, so my first official, let's say, official girlfriend. It sounds weird, but my first girlfriend, I was 16, and I always was. So always was attracted to girls
Mhm.
and to women, and I was never attracted to guys. Not that I don't want to say that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that I was always straight, and in that sense, and but during high school, I had a few weeks when I had some mixed feelings about this whole situation, because okay, maybe what if I'm gay, or what if I'm bisexual, or what, because of what happened in the past. I was wondering if I'm attracted, or I'm my sexual desire is directed in that way. Um, but after a few weeks of questioning myself and of like pondering on this uh, situation, I figured out that okay, I'm not gay, I'm not bisexual, I'm not attracted to other guys. I can watch gay porn. No, again, not that I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it was just not for me. So during high school, I had a few weeks of that, but I guess the biggest like damage would be emotionally, because I'm very like blocked, and I'm not used to connecting with other people emotionally. I'm very like cold, and I just don't can't. I just can't. I can't connect on a deep level as other people do. Um, and I had some problems with my girlfriend, with my current girlfriend, because of that. Because okay, she was saying, okay, you are very cold, you are not connecting, you are not here in the moment. Uh, it's just mechanical. Everything is. You get the idea. So I had some problems with that, and I went to see a psychologist, and I also spoke with her. Obviously, my girlfriend knows everything in my life, and I spoke with her about this a lot of times. I can't even remember how many times, but a lot of times. And we tried to find a solution and to go around this problem until it goes away entirely, because obviously it takes years to heal something this big. And even though emotionally right now, and it's not like I'm very affected about what happened, because uh, I confronted him. I did a lot of things. I spoke with other people. I told this to my parents. I told this to a few of my friends. So I try to face my fear and just get out in the world and try to not run from it, because I did a lot of running in the past, basically my entire life up until I was 21, when I finally accepted. Uh, but other than that, I'm fine, and my self-esteem is not yet where I want it to be, and I have problems in that direction because he manipulated me. So the sexual part was just like a half of what he did, because he did a lot of manipulation. He did a lot of mind playing with my mind, and it was very very hard in that sense. And that's what I'm struggling with right now, with just accepting how much I lost, how many opportunities, um, how many friends, and so on, because of him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, from a 38-year-old, let me tell you, if this matters in any way, you got about, at least from where I stand, 15 years of exploring and growing and connecting with people. So, so I feel that even though what you experience, very few people we know of that experience the same thing. But if you ever find the inner resources, we have a lot of capacity to heal. So, and I feel that's also not just physically, our body, but also psycho-emotionally. So, and I feel that your girlfriend, since she was such a big part in your opening up about this, she's a huge resource there. She's like a gem.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, because my channel is with about 70% men, what would you say if you feel like you could say something to men out there?
Yeah. Um, so if you've been through this or something similar, uh, the best advice, let's say, that I can give you is just confront and accept what has happened. Don't run away, even though that's the first instinct. Just run away and go in the opposite direction and never say anything about this, especially as men. It's very hard to come forward and to just say this to anyone else, because people judge and so on. Even so, from my experience, I've seen that a lot of people actually said a lot of good things about this and appreciated me, and supported me.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I mean, a lot of people, even from all ages, from all over the world, young and old. So even if you're afraid of coming out, you can do this, because only if you want. It's not something, it's something you decide. Um, but even if you don't come out, I would still advise you to accept and to think about this, and maybe go see a psychologist. It helped me a lot, and it just helps to speak with someone else, especially if that someone is trained or has some experience with this or some knowledge in this area. Because just keeping it to yourself, it's very hard, because it chips away, it chips away at your soul, kind of. It um, it's like you have someone with a knife in your gut, and you have to take that out to heal, basically. Yeah. So that's my advice. I can't say more than this, because I'm not a psychologist, so it's just my personal experience.
Which is extremely valuable. So not to worry about that. Okay. Well, Vlad, after this interview is over, we're going to talk about if you want people to maybe find you somewhere online. Maybe they need encouragement. So we didn't speak about this before. So
yeah. So anyone who wants to speak with me about this or about anything else that's related to this can reach out to me. I will give you a link to my Facebook page, you say.
It'll be under the video. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can message me. I will most likely answer within 24 hours or maybe 48 hours, depending on how busy I am. But I will definitely answer to anyone who reach out, who's going to reach out to me. And yeah, don't be afraid to reach out. Okay, so I'm happy to speak. I'm happy to jump on a call if you want that. To give as much advice as possible and to just speak. Yeah.
Super. Awesome. Boys and gentlemen out there, if this inspires you in any way, I hope that you allow yourself to be touched, emotionally touched by the story of another man. And yeah, reach out to Vlad or share with us under the video what your story was, how you got out of it, and so on. Any way that you share is going to help somebody else get a little further in their healing process. So Vlad, thank you very much. And I really appreciate you for everything that you've been through and the courage that it took you to actually get out of that, confront, open up, and then also show up for other people in a similar story.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I hope this will help as many people as possible.
So do I. So everybody, I'll see you in the next week with other videos. In the meantime, I hope this one reaches your heart or the hearts of somebody who you care about and helps them heal also. Ciao.